I finished Where You Belong by Kristen Proby, performed in Jewel by Samantha Brentmoor and Sebastian. So this is Books and Juliet's book. It's been teased for the entire series. This is the last book in the series, The Blackwells of Montana. We have been waiting, right? Second chance romance, and for me, it's what I thought was going to be like enemies to lovers, because that's the vibe we've been given. All through it, it's been like, don't speak her name, don't talk about her to me. Anytime anybody has said anything, it's been like, nope, nope, nope. Leaving the room if she's mentioned. And even his like little niece, who he adores, whenever she's been like, I'm so excited, there's a restaurant I can go to, he's been like, I love that for you, baby. Oh. When he finds out who owns the restaurant. And so, super excited, you know, here for it. We all know I love a good second chance romance. And so, you know, and I think this book works really well as a standalone. As the last book in the series that was been teased for, for me personally, I don't think we got the book we've been teased for. I think we got the second chance romance, absolutely. Where was the enemies? Where is this enemies to lovers that has been teased for 5 books? Because I don't know, was it a video or something? I was like, are we supposed to believe this man does not love this woman? Are we supposed to believe that he genuinely wants bad things to happen? But also, all the way through it, we have been led to believe that this big thing happened between them that tore them apart, and that she was the catalyst. She did this bad thing that broke his heart. He gave her an ultimatum, and knowing her history, he should not have been surprised at the decision she made. The only person really in the wrong was Brooks. And I get they were young, but still, you knew her history. You already pegged that this guy was manipulating her. Why were you surprised? Had to go shout at my dog, sorry. And so I didn't get the enemies to lovers part of it. I was just like, what? Because when we get the reveal, it's like, what now? And we never see any of this sort of tension between them of what we've had prior. It straight off the bat is, you know, she's trying to steer clear of him. He sees that she's injured. He's quickly like, are you okay? Why are you bleeding? And then when he discovers why, he fixes it so she doesn't get injured again. Those are not the actions of a man that wants harm to come to somebody, of somebody you hate, of somebody that's your enemy. You know what I'm saying? And, oh, he overhears that she wants flowers. So we make sure there's flowers. Sorry, again, not the actions of an enemy. Those are the actions of a man in love. Said what I said. And so, like I say, I think as a standalone, that worked wonders. But I think everything that came before it just led us to believe we were going to get something that we just didn't quite get. But the story itself, absolutely loved. I loved their relationship. I loved what we were finding out. And like I say, we find out about the manipulation that she endured. And you have to feel for Juliet. And not only did she lose her boyfriend, the person that she loved, but she endured such a manipulation of epic proportions, and without going into too much spoiler territory with this, but she had endured as a child a parental loss, and that was used to manipulate her into being with this friend, who then ended up destroying her relationship, and then later on was used to control her, and they then became a couple later on, and then he used other means to control her in their relationship. And then when eventually he does pass away, thank you, because if he didn't, I would have just been like, when does he What's that?
Stop them.
Just let me finish this, okay?
Okay.
Thanks, dude.
Here's your card.
When does it happen? Because, you know, for me personally, I did feel like there was a couple of red flags in the way that Brooks was. I was a bit like, what, dude? What? And there's a scene where Juliet goes missing, and I was just sat there like shouting at my phone, like, why is nobody thinking to look at this big house that they're renovating? What is wrong with you all? You're all looking everywhere, but at this... What now? Why are you all so stupid? And then there's a scene where they're talking about putting a IV in her foot. And like, oh, it'll just be a pinch. Has anybody had an IV in the foot before? It's more than a fucking pinch, I'll tell you that for nothing. You know I'm going to keep it real with you. You know I am. And then there's... So Juliet opens like this clean restaurant. And there's a moment where, you know, she tries to eat clean, but she says that she's not celiac, but she thinks she is. And I'm like, well, you either are or you're not. Like, it felt like there was just a little bit for me where that was concerned, where I would have liked a little bit of sort of just with that. Performance-wise, Samantha Brentmoor blew it out of the park. She absolutely was fantastic. The way she performed Juliet and the different nuances of her character, and especially where the manipulation and the discovery of that. Mwah, chef's kiss, rock star. Yes, Sebastian York was great as Brooks, but there were some issues for me where that was concerned, but overall I think they paired really well together for it, and production was great, and I think this is a book that most people will enjoy, and you should definitely check it out. The series is now complete, and yeah, you should go and get it. It's available now, and go and enjoy.